So, welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of our podcast series with the lovely Jonathan Smythe from Smythe Designs. And the first one, well, the series is called From the Rough to the Smooth, and the first one was an insight to how Jonathan had started off on a geology degree, ended up on Fleet Street using the first Apple computer. Have I remembered that right?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, to opening your own marketing business. So if you want to pick up from kind of where we left off, so you just said that you'd opened your own marketing business. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that and maybe why you decided to do that and what it's like being a business owner, I think when you potentially was something that you hadn't really thought about doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Samantha. Yeah, having gone from Fleet Street and worked at that kind of the gritty end of the stick, as it were, at the coalface, and then cutting my teeth on that, and then setting up a contract publishing business with my art director from the Daily Mail and another guy who was the he was the deputy sports editor on the Times, and we headed off and used.
Just keep throwing those names in. Just keep throwing those.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? And then me. So yeah, I was kind of like the new kid on the block using these wonderful machines, and so we set up a contract publishing business, and we did very, very well. But the guys I were working with, a lot older than me. Probably I'm probably their age now, as you know. So
and you thought they were old.
Yeah, I thought they were a pair of old farts. And I really saw this as an opportunity to really do something, and they saw it as a pension, and so I had to part the ways. And I just thought that I can do this, and yeah, I set up on my own. I did a bit of freelancing in the meantime, did some art directing with some national monthly magazines. Spent a couple of years playing around in very, very expensive boats in some very, very posh places, taking photos and boat testing, as the art director for Motorboat and Yachting magazine. And but it was I don't know, does this sound arrogant? It was boring, because it was the same thing month after month after month, playing with these £1 million toys.
Novelty wore off.
I know, south of France, south of Spain, the Med.
There's
only so
really
much
boring. Yeah.
There's only so much a boy can take. And while I was doing this, just to kind of like keep the creative juices flowing, I was working with other marketing departments within other magazines, and it got to the stage where I was enjoying doing the side hustle more than I was enjoying doing my actual job. So I handed my notice in, went and bought myself my own Mac, turned it upside down on an old milk crate, plugged the phone in, and waited for it to ring. And that was it.
And did it ring?
Eventually it did. Have you watched Better Call Saul, where he gets his phone and he's sat in front of his phone, and he gears himself up and he presses the messages button?
No.
Oh, and it's no messages, and then eventually the phone rang, all excited, wrong number. Of course, the wrong number, isn't it? But yeah, and then that was when I suddenly realized, well, no one's going to know I'm here unless I let them know. And so I obviously started self-marketing.
And what did you do? What self-marketing? How many years ago was this?
Oh, crikey. This was probably 1999, 2000.
Okay, so this was before the world of social media.
Pretty much.
Any Gen Z out there will be horrified that there was a world without social media.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
So I didn't really know about networking per se. Okay. So I did some neckworking, which basically meant drinking in the pub.
Yes.
There you go. There's BNI. There's 4N.
I did quite a lot of networking as well.
Yeah, networking. So and that's how it worked. And I set up in a printer's. So I had an office, a little cubby hole in a Printworks. And I used to go across the road. There was a pub. This was in southeast London. There was my office, pub, home.
Perfect.
Couldn't get home. Yeah, couldn't get home without actually going past the pub. So it would have been rude not to. And I was just in there one day, and there was this guy talking, and he was saying looking for a designer. And just as you do, I just kind of, can I buy you a drink? So he turned out to be the communications manager for one of the massive NHS hospitals in southeast London, King's College Hospital, which then became the first NHS Foundation Trust.
Okay.
And and overnight, you know, from thinking, what am I going to do? It was, how am I going to do this? Just got so busy. And then as soon as you go into one department, another department wants to talk to you and gives you work. And then from there, I then got into Southwark Housing, which is like the UK's biggest housing association. And everything was all referral. So, if you're ever looking for work, go and talk to your existing clients, testimonials.
Great tip.
That's it. Just go and get testimonials and just say, and you know, one of the fundamental things about humanity, if you ask for help, people love to help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are some really nice people out there, and we all want to help. If somebody rang up and said, Jonathan, I need your help. What can I do for you? If I can do it for you, let me help. And I think we're all the same. So if you ring up all your clients and say, hey, looking for a favor, who else do you know in business that might need my services?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And you can then ring them up and say, hey, I was given your name by. So it's then no longer a cold call. And everything that I did was all came. Yeah, I would say 80% of my business came through referrals. And you know, so there's never ever a cold call. It was fantastic. And you know, they're already warmed up because somebody said they're really good. You need to use this guy. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of difficult.
That would be your first tip for business owners. Don't, you know, if you're struggling for business, go to your current clients and say,
go to your current clients and just say, look, I'm doing really well in this sector, but I'm looking to branch out of this sector because obviously the one thing I try and do is once I've got a client within a certain sector of business, I don't have any other clients in that sector because it almost seems like a conflict of interest, as if I was playing one off against the other. So let's say I've got one hairdresser, for example, or a bar. I won't have any others, or one restaurant. I will try and stick with that. And, you know, if somebody does come up and say, well, look, I'm actually working with someone else within that industry. And sometimes it's just quite nice to say no, because it gives you that feeling that, one, I can say no. And also it makes you feel slightly exclusive. I turned a client down today, or I turned a potential client down today. How exciting is that?
And then people will, you know, you'll
so
get
as I
say, I approached Jonathan, but he said he's got no room for new clients.
He's too busy.
So then that's like, oh, did you know Smythe Design's got no room for it? Have they? Yeah. So, you know, it's all about, that's free marketing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Free marketing, word of mouth.
And we'll often find that, you know, if we go and look at reviews online, which everyone does, and it's a nightmare, the only people that tend to leave reviews are the ones who are unhappy. Thankfully, I don't have any of those. But you know, you go and look online, and you know, people are more likely to go and moan online than go and sing someone's praises. So you often have to go and ask for praise. I know it sounds really weird, but you know, come on, it's blow my trumpet for me.
Yes.
You know, and ask them for a testimonial, put on your website, ask them for referrals.
And again, you know, if you only ask one person, you're probably never going to get one. So you need to ask everybody.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, for every person you ask, probably 1 out of 10 might do it, 1 out of 15.
You'd be surprised. They all say they'll do it,
Yeah,
But then
I'd
it's
say I'd
getting
do
them
it.
to do it. And it's almost like you think, how much can I nag someone for that favour?
But on the other hand, I do think it's because people are busy as well. So, you know,
Yeah.
it depends when you've caught somebody, when you've spoken to them. So, you know, like if somebody's speaking to me, say, and I'm just about to do school pickup, I'll be like, yeah, of course I will. Then by the time I've got home with the kids, cook the tea, done the homework, tidy the house, I've totally forgotten that I've said I'm doing that review. And that's not because I don't want to do it. So I do think, you know, with reviews, which are tremendous for building your business, it's
Yeah.
not a will you do it once. You do need to do those gentle
Absolutely.
nudges.
And it's also once the job is done, the best thing to do is immediately go to them and say, hey, was everything okay? Is there anything, you know, that you would have liked done better, or, you know, let me know. Or while you're at it, just write me a 20-word review.
Yeah.
That's it. While you're still fresh in their mind, maybe even before the invoice is paid.
Yes.
Which always seems to be the case these days. Everything's before the invoice is paid.
Yes.
I should know. I'm probably going to get a call from your accounts department later, aren't I?
I will
No
say
comment.
that
You
you
couldn't
read my
possibly
mind.
comment. Oh, there's someone at the door.
So tip one is, you know, use your network.
Yeah, definitely.
Network wherever you are. Don't think networking
Yeah.
just has to happen in a networking environment.
Absolutely.
Tip two, that you've gained from having your own business is, if you're struggling for business, rather than spending extra money, go to your current client base. You know, I'm looking to branch out into the hospitality sector.
Absolutely.
Do you know anybody that, you know, might want to speak to me? And number three is your reviews. So make sure that people are leaving those reviews, and Google and Trustpilot and wherever, you know, the more they can put those reviews on the different platforms, the better, because that is something, and, you know, it's something that we've got on the directorschoice.com. It gives people an insight on how you work with your clients, because essentially marketing is all the same. It's how you work with your clients that makes you different to another marketing agency.
Well, that's the whole thing. People buy people. And you know, it's that whole thing, like with 4N, meet, like, know, trust. You meet people, like them, get to know them, and then you trust them, and then you will do business with them.
Absolutely. So I feel like the next part of this, from this podcast series, from the rough to the smooth, I nearly said it the wrong way around. You're obviously an expert networker, and that's where I initially met you. So I think it would be a really nice way, if you don't mind, to finish the series on talking about how networking has helped you grow your business, and maybe giving some tips and hints, you know, to people on how to network initially, and then how networking face to face and online, how you need to do those two differently. Hopefully you agree you need to do them differently, and I'm not just saying
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, and I think that would, hello. I think that would be really helpful, because you've obviously built a successful business around that. And I'm sure you'll agree, networking is a really good way. If you're employed at the moment, but you're thinking, I think I want to set up by myself, you can utilize networking to build that business while you're still in your current employment. So when you do decide to make that leap, you're not just, you know, you've got almost a nice warm network there for you to go to and say, right, I've done it. I've taken the leap of faith. I need you to help me now. And if your network is strong enough and you've built it up, you'll have that ready to go. And again, that's free marketing for you. Yeah. Not that I'm trying to put you out of a business saying that everyone should do free marketing.
No, if you can get anything for free, go for it.
Exactly.
It's my second favourite 4-letter word that begins with F, but you can edit that bit out. Free, Sam.
Right, on that note,
yes, let's get out of the gutter.
Good. So thank you so much. They're always really enjoyable.
Pleasure.
You know, I think the insight that you give on how your career has evolved, how the business has evolved, you know, and how you don't have to take yourself too seriously to have a successful business is all things that will resonate with other business owners and help them as well. So thank you very much for part 2. The
My
final
pleasure.
part will be recorded very soon. So we'll see you all then. And if you do want to speak to Jonathan about anything, about marketing, or you just want to have a chat with him about being a business owner, you can find him on the marketing area of thedirectorschoice.com, and he is also on LinkedIn. So thank you very much, Jonathan.
Thanks, Samantha.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.